In the shadowed heart of 15th century Spain, a king clung to a crumbling throne. Whispers of weakness haunted him, impotence, rebellion, a kingdom slipping through his fingers. To save his crown, he made a choice so shocking it would tear his family apart and ignite a war that changed history. This is the true story of Henry IV of Castile, the king who sold his own daughter for power. In 1454, Henry IV ascended the throne of Castile, a sprawling kingdom rich with trade, but riddled with noble feuds and economic strife. At just 29, he inherited not a crown of gold, but a crown of thorns. His enemies called him Henry the Impotent, a cruel insult aimed at his rumored inability to sire an heir or to rule with strength. The court waited like vultures, circling, watching for a single misstep. Henry's first marriage to Blanca of Navarre lasted 13 years. No children, no heir. In 1453, the marriage was annulled by the Pope himself, declaring it unconsummated. The shame was unbearable. The great families of Castile, the Mendozas, the Pachecos, sniffed weakness. And once nobles sense weakness, they plot. But Henry tried again. And this time, fate gave him both a daughter and a scandal. In 1455, Henry remarried Joan of Portugal, a lively and ambitious young noblewoman. For years, the court waited. Then, on February 28, 1462, the miracle came. A daughter, Joanna. Henry paraded her before the kingdom, declaring her Princess of Asturias, heir to the throne. But joy soon curdled into poison. Rumors swept the court. Joanna was not Henry's child, but the daughter of Beltrán de la Cueva, Henry's most trusted advisor and Queen Joan's rumored lover. They mocked her cruelly as Joanna la Beltraneja, the little Beltrán. The whispers weren't just gossip, they were daggers aimed at the very heart of Henry's reign. By 1464, the nobles struck. They demanded Henry disinherit Joanna and name his half-brother Alfonso as heir. Henry caved, publicly declaring that his 2-year-old daughter would one day marry Alfonso, uniting their claims. But it was a lie, a stalling tactic. The nobles answered with mockery. In 1465, they staged the infamous farce of Avila. Before a cheering crowd, they toppled a straw dummy of Henry from a throne and crowned young Alfonso in his place, a king, reduced to a puppet. Then fate struck again. In 1468, Alfonso died suddenly at just 14. Poison? Plague? None could say. But with his death, the crown's future dangled by a thread. Into the void stepped Henry's half-sister, Isabella. Sharp, ambitious, dangerous. That same year, Henry signed the Treaty of the Bulls of Guisando, naming her heir if she married only with his approval. But Isabella defied him. In 1469, she secretly wed Ferdinand of Aragon. Their marriage was a masterstroke, a union that threatened Henry's authority and the independence of Castile itself. Furious, Henry revoked her claim, doubling down on Joanna. And from that moment, Joanna ceased to be a child. She became a pawn. By 1470, Henry was desperate. Nobles openly called Joanna a bastard. His enemies rallied to Isabella. So Henry staged a grand ceremony, swearing on holy relics that Joanna was his daughter, reaffirming her as Princess of Asturias. Then he made his move. He betrothed his 8-year-old daughter to Charles, Duke of Berry, the brother of the King of France. It wasn't love, it was politics. In return, France promised troops and legitimacy, but the deal collapsed. Charles, spooked by the rumors of Joanna's birth, petitioned the Pope to dissolve the match. Henry's gamble had failed, and so he reached for an even darker alliance. He offered Joanna to her own uncle, Afonso V of Portugal. She was 13. He was 43. In December 1474, Henry IV died. His kingdom, already fractured, plunged into chaos. In May 1475, Afonso of Portugal invaded Castile, claiming the throne for Joanna, now his wife. She was 13, he, a man 3 times her age. Across Castile, banners were raised. Isabella and Ferdinand rallied their forces. The War of the Castilian Succession had begun. The war raged. In 1476, the bloody Battle of Toro ended in stalemate, but Isabella spun it as victory, winning the nobles to her cause. By 1479, it was over. The Treaty of Alcazovas sealed Castile under Isabella and Ferdinand. Portugal abandoned Joanna. At just 17, she faced 2 choices: marry Isabella's infant son or spend her life in exile. She chose the convent, and though she never fought for the crown again, every letter she signed bore the same words: La Reina, the queen, a queen without a crown, a daughter sacrificed for power. Henry IV's legacy was not greatness, but failure. His desperate bargains, trading his daughter like a coin, ignited a war that paved the way for Isabella and Ferdinand's golden age. But behind their triumph lies a tragedy of a girl betrayed by her father and forgotten by history. This was Blood and Thrones. Subscribe for more tales of betrayal, blood, and power. Which scandal should we uncover next? Drop your choice in the comments. The Game of Thrones has only just begun.